Hey everyone, we have a great show today. We have Sarah Shell, who's the owner and creative director of Fern Studio Flowers. We talk all things flowers. She owns a flower shop on Divine Street since 2010. She's been doing this, and she talks about how she goes from getting her law degree, becoming a lawyer, and then deciding she wants to be in the flower game. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks for listening.
This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Warren and Dillon, the Midland's trusted personal injury lawyers. Here's some great advice from our sponsor.
Hey there, Brett Warren with Warren & Dillon. I wanted to talk to you today about some of the biggest mistakes you can make when it comes to dealing with insurance companies. I think one of them is giving a recorded statement to the insurance company. The problem is that the insurance companies, they're doing these recorded statements to help their case and to hurt yours. And so they're going to ask some sneaky questions that are designed to hurt your case. One quick example, they'll ask how many feet away you were from the other car when you first noticed them. Nobody really knows the answer to that. But what they're going to do is they're going to say, hey, you should have noticed that other car, and now you're 20% at fault. So do yourself a favor, just don't do it or talk to a lawyer first. Trusted advice, proven results, Warren & Dillon.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Here for the Health of It podcast. I'm Dr. Randy here with Dr. Tom, as always. And we have a great show today. We have Sarah Shell, who's the owner. Did I say your last name right?
Yeah, you did.
Owner and creative director of Studio Flowering.
Fern Studio Flowering.
Fern Studio
There
Flowering.
you go.
I was so close.
Fern is the main one you want to remember, actually.
Fern.
Sometimes people just say Fern.
And you're on Divine Street.
On Divine.
Yeah, and you mostly do wedding and events and graduations and things like
We
that.
do all of it. We're a full service flower shop, so do deliveries, pickups, anything that you need, do all the flowers for you.
Amazing.
But weddings, yeah, corporate events, all sorts.
Did you ever see the Zach Galifianakis Between Two Ferns?
No,
Skits
but I guess
before?
I need to.
Oh, my God.
they're
Oh,
so
man, you
good.
guys will have to send me that link.
You'd appreciate
You
a good
would love
big
it.
All right,
ferns in that photo.
great. Oh, I
Great.
can't wait. I feel like I have a logo redesign in my future or something.
Yes.
So ferns are important in your.
Yeah,
I would have thought flower. Looking at your Instagram, I would have thought
okay,
all
good.
flowers,
People
but I didn't see many
sometimes
fern
confuse
stuff.
us with like a plant shop, but we do not do potted plants. We just do cut flowers. But all the arrangements, birthdays, anniversaries, all of that.
Yeah.
But we'll drop a fern in an arrangement once in a while. That's good. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a nice kind of a southern plant.
Yeah.
Hospitality, generosity, like makes you think of all those things too. So yeah.
And so tell us how you got into this.
Well, you want the long story or the short story? Medium?
Both.
Yeah,
Medium.
both. Yeah, okay. I went to school for art, and then took a departure and went to law school, and then was a lawyer for a short time.
No way.
Yeah.
Whoa,
it wasn't,
didn't see
it
that
wasn't
coming.
random. It
All right,
wasn't
you gotta
really my
unpack that a little
best
bit.
decision. They will laugh because I did meet my husband there, so I somehow ended up with like an MRS degree from law school, which is interesting, yeah.
Yep.
But did practice as a lawyer in Savannah, Georgia for a little while, which is a beautiful city. So I was basically chained to a desk. I had a great window view of the river, and just basically wished I was anywhere but chained to the desk, like outside where all the beautiful flowers were.
What kind of law were you doing?
Oh, I did insurance defense, which was really soul sucking. Mostly like pushing papers, summarizing medical records, like really fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insurance defense. So somebody hurts themselves,
Yes.
wants to get insurance.
No, it's more like the opposite side of in the car
accident or
accident.
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
Okay.
I'm defending the insurance company for all of the fraudulent claims.
You're like,
which
we're not
there's-
paying these medical
Yeah,
expenses.
no, but everybody ruins it for all because there are legitimate medical expenses.
Yeah.
Expenses, but lots of people
Right.
try to exploit that system. So it's my job to analyze those medical records and.
Was there any
try-
standout ones that you can think of?
I try to block all that out if I'm honest.
Gone.
Yeah.
Eliminate it
no,
from the brain.
Yeah, I know. I'm bringing more current up, with the flowers. More excited
Okay.
about all of that. So.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Columbia Family Chiropractic, with 3 easy-to-get-to locations, one in Forest Acres, which is by Trader Joe's, one in O'Neill Court by the DMV, and one in the Northeast by Sand Hills. You'll be sure to have somewhere near you. They offer a ton of services from corrective care, on-site digital x-rays, spinal decompression for bulging or herniated discs, dry needling for injuries, pediatric care, and a Class 4 laser. They accept all your major insurances. And if you mention this ad, you'll get a discount on your first appointment. Check out their website at cfcforhealth.com or Google Columbia Family Chiropractic. That's CFC forhealth.com.
But yeah, so I basically was miserable working as an attorney, and my husband was like, "This is awful. You got to figure something out." So, long story short, quit my job, started working for a friend at a really lovely boutique in Savannah called Terracotta. If you're ever in Savannah, please go visit Christine there. It's a beautiful spot. But it was kind of funny because I went from being an attorney to asking, do you need a small or a medium in this top, which is really different.
Yeah.
But there was a girl who came in a lot that was a florist, and I got to talking to her a little bit, and she let me come help alongside her at some of the weddings, and it really just felt like a better fit. So let's see, my sister's friend was getting married, and she asked me to do her flowers, and I'm like, Betsy, I don't actually know how to do flowers. I just wash buckets.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, my wedding's in 9 months. You'll figure it out. She's awesome. And I did. I went to a flower class in New York. I have an eye for art. That was kind of my first, what I did first. And then figured it out and did Betsy's wedding. And fast forward, I guess, a few years. I'm not going to date myself too much. But I now own the shop on Divine Street, and Betsy owns the bridal shop across the street from me. She was my very first bride and owns Elizabeth Cole Bridal. Definitely go check her out. But yeah, so, it wasn't quite that linear, but it was,
Right.
where I found out where I needed to be eventually. So
Did you get any switching for spending money on the law degree?
yeah.
Did your family or anybody, do you feel that
That was my biggest worry. I think when I
Yes.
first decided not to, because I went straight through school. I went from college straight to law school. Then had a job as an attorney for a year and a half, and then was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. But I was really worried about my dad. He was an attorney, but he no longer practiced either. He does commercial real estate, and so I was hoping I might have some understanding there. And he was more than I thought, so it was good. It was okay.
Yeah, my wife's transitioned from, she's a PA at the hospital,
Okay.
but now we kind of transitioned her into more operations here.
Gotcha.
So it's that kind of tug back and forth of I went to school for all this. She just paid off all of her student loans.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no. Oh, then, and then she switched
Yes.
over. Yeah, no, that is the drag of it. But
Right.
I don't know. I mean, ultimately, I would write my own contracts. I, benefit from it a little bit.
Yeah, that's nice.
And, don't have any regrets. But
Sweet.
it was, a bit of a journey.
Yeah.
And so your husband graduated in the same class as you? That's how
yeah,
you guys
he
met,
did.
right?
Yes.
And
It's
how
wild.
did that love story go? Because
Oh.
I met my wife in chiropractic school.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you spend a lot of time with someone when you're in a graduate level class with them. And I kind of figured if we could study for the bar exam together, we'd probably survive life. And so far, so good.
Yeah, nice. Did he do
Yeah.
any magic tricks? That was Randy's move.
Oh, he should have. No, he sent me flowers actually, eventually.
Oh, he
we were
did?
friends first. But yeah, and then he eventually sent me flowers to kind of figure out can this be more than friends? And
Really?
yeah, it worked out. Tulips, I really like those. So.
You don't hear many guys getting out of the friend zone.
Yeah,
that
I know.
easily.
I mean, he did a great job.
Nice. All right, tell me this. Are you more of a plant person or animal person?
Oh, plants.
That's what
I mean,
we were just talking about that. I'm more of a plant
I
person
have
too.
so many plants.
Do you guys have pets?
We have a cat.
Yeah.
Probably getting
You don't
a
really
dog.
like it though. Yeah.
No, I do like the
You do
cat.
like the
It's
cat?
it's my daughter's cat. She wasn't doing great in school, and then decided she wanted a cat, and I was like, well, maybe if you get all A's, and what do you know, she got
She
all
did.
A's,
Yeah.
and then we ended up with a cat.
Yeah.
The cat's pretty easy though; it's her responsibility, so she mostly takes care of it. But I have plants in every room, so
That's great.
That kind of answers your question.
Now, how much time are you spending keeping plants alive just at your house? Forget about the
Oh, not that much. It's really not that hard. Once you kind of get into a routine.
Yeah.
Well, you're a plant person.
Well, I'm
Is it
trying.
hard?
I feel like it is. My wife ends up doing. I love buying plants, keeping them alive.
No, I get that.
It's I don't know.
I know. I'll be honest. I do kill plants from time to time.
And you feel good. It's
and-
okay.
Yeah, it's totally okay. Just buy yourself another plant.
Yeah.
And just like replace
Do you
it.
name them though?
Okay.
We name ours.
Oh, I should, but I don't know.
So
That's
it's like,
okay.
it's
you should.
weird.
What's the name of your plant?
Well, we had a Brad and he died. That's like when you
Oh,
mentioned.
no.
I know. And he was one of my favorites.
Brad's like a aggressively human name too.
R.I.P.
There are a
Brad.
lot- there's a
Sorry.
lot.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, my husband will do better than your plant, Brad.
And
but-
that's like, I guess we like sometimes, like I always thought just water, sunlight, but then some like it's like you can
yeah,
drown
there are
it.
definitely like tiers of plants that are
Yeah.
more challenging than others. Like the fiddle figs. Maybe I'll
Yes,
try to do
we
one of
have two of
those.
those.
Those guys can die like very dramatically. But I
yes.
think the trick is like finding a good spot in your house for those.
Yes.
It's like not too, they're really particular about light.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah. Do you have one
Meg-
alive now?
We have two alive. We
Okay.
have one with Figgy Azalea who
Look at that.
like we bought that one big and it's
Yeah.
doing well.
Okay, great.
So, but Megan, my wife, had a one that she brought down to like nubs, no
Okay.
leaves. Somebody cut it.
Oh, and she
She
tried to like
sh-
nurse it.
Yes, she shipped it to a friend who like revived it somehow.
Whoa. I've seen on the internet stories of people doing that.
I couldn't
I
even
would have
imagine.
just bought
Yeah,
another
I
one
would've
if I'm
bought it.
honest.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
You know what are easy to keep alive is ferns.
Ferns are easy. There's some that are like the fancy ferns, like a maidenhair fern. Those are a little
Tougher.
tricky. They just need a lot of water. But yeah, some like ferns outside, as long as they're getting water.
Do you
they're
have
happy.
it like built into your rhythm? Like, what's your home rhythm? Like, you go, is it like
Oh,
Mondays?
I
or
like
you-
to tell you that it's like a Monday. I feel like every week is a little different for me, just with like the nature of what I do with my job. Like with wedding season, that's really when a lot of plants die, honestly, because they just get, I'm happy that my kids are still alive after wedding season.
Right.
So if the plants are dying, that's fine.
Yep.
But no, I mean, I don't know, once a week generally. But a lot of plants, like if you pay attention to them, a lot of them, like you can kind of see.
talk to you.
Yeah, they tell you.
But when they get these like weird brown spots, you're like, what do you cut it off? Do you
Yeah, no, take those leaves off.
Zap 'em.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Or just like pinch them off with your
Just
fingers.
get them off. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like pruning, like I like the idea of pruning,
Mm-hmm.
but then I feel like I'm getting too aggressive with it because it just
Well,
feels good.
No, yeah, I mean, but that's okay. And honestly, it sometimes makes the plant come back like
Right.
fuller. I don't know. I think
Right.
more pruning is better than less pruning generally.
I'm learning that with basil. Basil's like
Oh
been
yeah,
my-
basil loves that.
Yes.
Do you have an inside or outside basil?
inside.
Yeah, they can go crazy.
Yeah, I've been doing nice.
They're great.
It's
You
been
making
alive for a while.
pesto?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pestos. I do a little throw it on pizza.
It's so good.
Yep.
I love it. I've been I overwintered some geraniums. Like I took them out of my garden
Yeah.
afterwards, and now I have them in like they're beautiful. I have them in like a perfect window, but those need a lot of like
Yeah.
pruning and stuff too.
Yep.
Anyway, geraniums are our next one for you.
Yes.
And how do you know what kind of pot to put them in?
When
Big-
you pot up, that's the big one.
Oh yeah, I'm not the best at that. I mean, I'm not a plant shop. I'm just out here like being
Right,
an amateur
right.
like you guys. I can tell you all about the cut flowers though.
Okay. Yep.
But I don't know. I think they just when they get full, you just move them to the next pot. But
That's
I don't know.
Swell up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me ask you about flowers then, because
Yeah,
you brought us
I'm
this
like,
great
oh.
bouquet,
Oh, God.
Beautiful.
and it's
Can
got
you
all
name
kinds of
any
different
them?
colors.
Can you name
Oh, yeah,
anything
come
in
on.
there?
All right. I know what a lily is, and I don't see a
There's
lily.
no lilies.
Yep.
Okay.
These are all local, almost
This-
all local flowers, which is really
This
awesome.
might be a white rose.
Let me see. Turn it this way. It is not. It is not a rose.
The only
This
other
is a
one
great game. I should have
This
brought
is
more of
great.
these.
The only other one I know is geranium.
There are no geraniums in here.
Nope. All right, then I'm completely stumped.
Tom
I
knows.
couldn't.
Nothing?
No.
Do you know
Well,
zinnias?
This looks like a sunflower.
Let me see.
a small mini sunflower?
Oh, no. Those are like little coreopsis.
0 for
I
5.
couldn't. I'm trying to think. I was trying to think of even names of flowers. Like my wife, we were just talking about this. She loves peonies,
Yeah.
which I couldn't even think of, but I
Oh.
knew like it was PE something.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yep.
That's
I've
perfect.
never heard that word in my life.
Really?
She loves
Some people
those.
say peonies. Have you heard that?
Nope.
Okay. It's
And
like
then-
tomato.
There's another one like that. That's a winter flower. That's like starts with a R. Like
Ranunculus?
Yes.
But that you can actually get that anytime. It's
Oh,
not just
really?
winter. I can get that for you for Megan. So your
That's
wife?
a good idea. Yeah.
I got you.
Okay. All right. Nice.
No, those are great. Those are around. They're like peony's little sister. They look like little tutus.
And then carnations are the only. Is that?
Oh, there's a carnation in there. Carnations get a bad rap because you think
Right.
of like
Do you know which
Valentine
one's a-
Graham.
do you know
Yeah,
which
can you
one's a
find the
carnation?
carnation?
Is there only one? I was going to
maybe
say the
one or
white ones
two.
were.
No, it's not white. It's actually buried in there.
This
Y'all can
guy?
open the bouquet if you want and then kind of see.
Get them out there.
Yeah.
I want to learn more about flowers.
That's great. That's why I'm here.
I kind of want a flower
I knew you
farm.
did.
Like
well, almost all of these are local from our local flower farmers, which is my favorite time of year in the summer. Yeah, what's that
I
one?
think this one's my favorite.
Is that a carnation?
That is a zinnia.
A zinnia.
And they are beautiful. And that, if you ever want to like try to grow flowers at all, like
That's
these are,
the one.
yeah, these are great. They do well in our very hot climate.
So you don't grow any flowers. Like
no,
you don't have a farm.
I do not. I would love to, but I have a deep appreciation for all of the true like backbreaking labor that our farmers put in for all of these gorgeous flowers. And it's Boone Fox Farm, and I'm going to shout out a couple of ours.
Yes.
And Floral and Hardy Farm, Purple Tudor. We have a lot of really wonderful, like right here in the Midlands, farmers.
Now, how many are they growing at a time? Like what? Because are they fishing it out to as many flower shops as they can, I would imagine, but
They do, but they don't. Like you'd be surprised. Like a lot of flower shops actually don't buy local.
Oh,
It's just
really?
it's almost like harder to process for them. Like they just have like the huge wholesalers that bring like the enormous trucks in. And we really try to prioritize local first. There's so many reasons. Local flowers are so much more beautiful, honestly.
Right.
Like the colors, like you just can't replicate that
Yeah.
with like the greenhouses overseas. And then of course, like the environmental footprint is significant for us, like to just get it right down the road versus flying it in from South America. But I think the flower farmers, like we honestly, because we partner with so many of them, we usually get the first pick, which I love. So a lot of them, like Brenton at Boone Fox Farm, y'all should get her on here. She's great.
Really?
Yeah. And she could tell you like so much
That
more
would be
about all of
cool.
her processes. But she will a lot of times like save us certain ones, or I don't know. It's great. But we do a flower bar every week, starting on Thursdays, where we just put out like a whole. I mean, it's like 5 times the size of this table.
Yeah.
Where we just fill it with vases of different flowers, and you can come like shop by the stem. But we'll put all of the local ones kind of prominently featured there.
That's
So
cool.
you can
Nice.
come buy like a single zinnia or ranunculus for Megan. You know.
I like that.
Yeah.
What's a typical order look like for you from the farm? Like how many are you getting at a time
It
and how often?
depends on like what our week looks like. Like if we have a wedding during their growing season, I mean, we'll get hundreds of stems, like as
Really?
many as they, depending on like what the color palette is for the wedding and all of that. But we start all of our orders with local flowers first, and then
go from
kind of
there.
build around whatever we need beyond that.
And then what's it take? Are they literally cutting them as you order them, or
Yeah.
they do? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have like a weekly schedule and like kind of with their growing process and know like what's peaking at what times. And so they'll post that ahead of time or like get in touch with us and let us know.
That's
and then
cool.
we order from there. Yeah. It's
What's
great.
What's the hot colors for?
Oh, the
weddings?
hot colors. I mean, so many, I shouldn't say that. Neutral weddings are like probably the most popular, like, whites and creams and
Right.
greens. And it's funny because we always kind of like fuss about the neutral weddings because it's not as fun for us. But then we'll do a white wedding and then all of us, like all of the designers on staff, we're like, oh, this is really pretty. We actually still really like this. But beyond neutral, I mean, brides always like blush, soft pinks.
Yeah.
That's like probably the most popular. Yellow is really the color this year. Has been like a big one for us, which we love, like butter yellows, creamy yellows. And then once in a while, we'll get a bride that like really loves color, which is the most fun for us, if I'm honest, because we really get to kind of be painterly and get to pick like all of the prettiest flowers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
brides who love color, please call me.
Yep. And what's the shelf life? Once they're cut at the farm,
Yeah.
how much time do we have to get them into?
I mean, it depends on the flower. Like some flowers have like less of a vase life than the
Yeah.
others do. But I would say, especially your local flowers, I mean, you're looking at like 2 weeks.
2
like
weeks?
These that I brought you, we got them fresh this morning from our farmers. Yeah, today's Monday. And so they probably cut them first thing this morning. So they like are straight from the field. So some of these could even last like 3 weeks. Another benefit of local flowers.
Yeah.
What are you doing to
yeah.
make them last longer? Like, do you have to continue to cut what are the tricks?
Yeah, sure. I mean, everyone's like, do you add Sprite? Do you add
Right.
a penny? Like you see all of those things
Yeah.
online. I don't think any of those kind of gimmicks really do as much as honestly just fresh water, like cleaning, changing the
dump
water
it.
and making sure they have water. Like flowers drink a lot more water than you think. So that's why the the tip that we give out the most, which really isn't a tip at all, but just like make sure your flowers are in water. But then changing the water. And then if you want to go the extra step, like recutting them, that's always great too.
Is it almost like fish where like they're peeing and pooping in the water and you gotta
I
get it
mean,
out
I
of
guess
there?
it's kind of like that. They like definitely, I mean, if you watch the water, it like will turn brown if they just
Right.
sit in the water. So it's like, the bacterial breakdown, I guess, of the stem kind of contributes to that. So clean water does a lot better for them.
Well, it seems weird that it's dead, but it's drinking water.
Yeah, but I guess it's not quite dead. But I never
fully.
sort of like thought about that, I guess. But yeah, it's like they're still very much alive.
What if you sprinkle a little dirt in there?
I think it would just like clog the stems. Not advisable. Clean water, clear water.
When you cut them, is there a special, like I've heard the diagonal cut, right?
Yeah, no, the diagonal cut is great. A fresh cut is always better than not. But like if you cut it at a diagonal, it just gives it more surface area to like
Suck
slurp
it up.
up more
Yeah.
water. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's what that does.
And how do you know length to put it in? Just based on what you want the look to be, or
Like if you're like when you're arranging them.
and like cutting them, because I'm assuming all these flowers were really different lengths.
Totally.
But you cut them all so that they're similar lengths.
Yeah,
right?
we just did that just for ease of transport, and I like had them in a little cup of water in my car to bring here. So, but if you're like doing it on a vase or in a vase, you could always like hold the flowers. It's hard to do it without it. Let me lean over. If you're like, actually, this is an easy trick, but if you're like have a vase here, you can kind of hold your flowers like the length of how high you want them. You know what I mean? And then I can see like right here where I would cut them out. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
Now you said you went to a class to learn about.
did.
Was it to learn about the business side? Was it to learn about just flowers? Was it?
It was to learn how to arrange flowers.
Arrangements, okay.
Yeah, it was. It's funny. It's called the Flower School New York. I think they're still in business up in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I thought school was a little generous because the class was maybe 4 days. I was like, that's a lot. I don't think and they gave me a paper certificate at the end. I was like, oh, look at the school that I went to. Great. But I mean, I felt like I had the eye to put everything together, but it was more of like learning how to process flowers and
Right.
how to make a bouquet. Like I didn't have any of those skills. So I'm self-taught beyond just,
That one
going,
class.
to take the class.
Wow.
But it was really helpful just to get my hands on flowers and like to kind of learn like, where do you source flowers and all of that. But,
Yeah.
so went
That's
up to
pretty
do that.
sweet.
I know, but they did not.
Was-
They did not teach us much about the business side of flowers.
Was there any tricks that you learned in the arrangement world that the average consumer could go, okay, this is you need this weed, you need this.
Sure. I mean, the biggest trick that I tell people even now, like when we do workshops, I think if you're just going to get like grocery store flowers or just like a bundle of flowers, whether it's from us or somewhere else, there is so many pretty things in your yard to just go out and cut like a little bit of greenery or like some other things that are a little bit more organic that yeah, I appreciate that enthusiasm.
I'm excited about
That's
that.
the way I know.
I was thinking about all the stuff in my yard.
Yeah, no, but it's true. Just like to go through and
Right.
see some of the greens out there and kind of combine those with like your basic grocery store flowers. That like really makes them feel a little bit more organic and a little more special.
Now you alluded to like that it's hard work growing flowers.
Mm-hmm.
What I like the idea that like literally my wife and I have talked about we want to buy land and just like let flowers grow, but I
that's
visualize
awesome.
it like you just plant them and leave. Maybe set up a little watering.
I'm
deal.
going to say that's not what
Not
the
gonna
flower
work.
farmers are doing.
Right.
But you should get Brenton on here to tell you she works nonstop.
Really? Is it that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's probably different if you want like at the commercial production side of it, right?
Right.
Versus in your own yard.
Just
But
thinking like wildflowers just out there.
yeah, I mean, I think like zinnias, and then there's cosmos in the summertime. There's a few that are definitely a little easier than some of like dahlias. There's certain ones that I think take a lot more work. But yeah,
And I'm guessing it's just like thinning things out.
I think there's probably like weeds, pests, like all sorts of stuff. Like making sure the soil's right, making sure they get water.
Now, besides weddings,
I don't know.
so
Yeah.
I'm guessing weddings is the big. That's your main thing.
We do tons of it. I mean, really, it's interesting. Like I started out just doing events and weddings.
Yeah.
It was kind of when my kids were really little, and I didn't want to have like the whole shop production
Yes.
side. That's where I started. And then we just gradually grew into doing all of it. It felt like there was really a need here in the Columbia community. And really, it's interesting since we started doing like all of the deliveries, I think a few shops have closed. Like there definitely has been, a need and a really positive response for us. So
what are the other
like
big
half and
things?
half.
Like what are the other big things? Like prom and
Oh yeah, prom is like taking over our lives in April.
Birthdays.
Yeah, we do lots of corsages. I think the daily arrangements are a lot of like birthdays, anniversaries, sympathy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry's. Like we get
Screwed
get
up.
some. Yeah,
Do you
we
got to
get
write the
some of
card? Do you guys
those.
write cards like
Oh,
custom?
oh
You
yeah.
do?
Oh yeah.
that's
The
gotta
cards
be
are
good.
great. The cards will come in and we're dying. Like we got one that was like, I'm sorry I was an a-hole. And it's like literally card. And we're writing it out and we're like, I don't know if the people think about how we write these cards. I mean, we have a lot of power with the cards, you know?
that's
Like we could change
hilarious.
someone's life.
Yes.
Like there's a story. This did not happen at my shop, but I think this story is very funny. There was a mix-up between cards at a florist. We would never do this, for the record. We always make sure the cards go to the right spot. Right?
Yes.
So, but apparently, flowers that were intended to go to someone's wife or mistress went to the person's daughter, and the card said "Little Black Dress Night tonight" to his daughter. And she was like, no, Dad.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, when you think of it in that context, like florists have a lot of power over
spicy,
life.
yeah.
So all right, let me ask you these questions
Yeah.
about when you send flowers to your wife or girlfriend for when you
Right.
screwed up
Or
Yes.
mistress.
or mistress.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever you
Whatever
need.
you have.
No judgment. We are a judgment-free zone. We may laugh a little, but we're judgment-free.
So let's say you're sending an anniversary
Right.
bouquet.
Yeah.
Bouquet or bouquet?
Depends on where you're from, maybe.
Yeah. I think I say bouquet.
Bouquet.
How do you know where to start? What size is appropriate?
Yeah, sure. How big is your budget? What's your anniversary? Like, how much do you love your wife?
Right.
Yeah.
That's how you always started.
Yeah.
How big should I
badly
get?
did you
How much
screw
do you
up?
like it? Well,
Yeah.
so I screw up one is another question, but I
Yeah.
want to know like anniversary style.
yeah.
Like you don't need to go dozen roses
No,
necessarily.
and
on-
we actually, our hot take is that the girls don't want dozen roses anymore. They want like the
Roses
mixed
are
bundles.
out.
Yeah, roses are out.
Really?
Yeah, we're not really as
Good
into
thing
just
you
like
told 'em.
the
I had no
basic
idea.
dozen roses, baby's
If you
breath.
would have told me a dozen roses are out, I
No.
would have thought 2 dozen roses.
No, we can do the equivalent of that, but the girls want like all of the special painterly. It's like
Yeah.
that's what's on Pinterest and Instagram, like all of the fancier flowers, like the garden style that we do, which is like, I mean, honestly, it says I love you even more because you're getting all of like the finest flowers, like the peonies and ranunculus that he's mentioning. That's what the girls want,
Yeah.
and that's what we do.
Like let's say, all right, let me give you a contrast.
yeah,
then.
okay.
Let's say 15th wedding anniversary
All right.
for one, and I went on a guys trip golfing on Mother's Day
Oh,
for your other one. Like what would be the difference between those 2 bouquets? For a friend.
Guys trip Mother's Day. Oh man, we're doing an annual subscription for you.
Called Brothers Day.
Oh no. So your anniversary, I mean, I don't know. It'd probably go like in the 250-ish for your big I mean, 15's a big
Yeah,
year.
that's a big year.
Yeah.
How many stems is that?
How
many stems
How
is-
big?
I mean, it's a big, like and we would do an arrangement like that's actually in a vase, so you don't have to worry about all of that. Yeah, I mean, it's probably 30, 40 stems, 50
Nice.
stems. Like it's big. You can get some like gorgeous peonies in there. Yeah, it would be beautiful. And we make it really easy for you. Like we put everything's on our website. You
Yeah.
can just go on and like click the size that you want,
Oh.
and the picture, the thumbnail changes, and so you can see exactly like what size you need. Yeah,
That's nice.
I don't know.
Sweet.
We got you covered.
Yeah, that and I wouldn't have to think about colors then. I would just say
No, and we have
this.
you can like pick different palettes. Like we have like soft watercolors or a neutral if you're wanting whites and greens.
Yeah.
I think we have one that's like dark and moody if you want like the richer colors. And then designer's choice is on there, which is always the one to recommend because it means that we will select like the prettiest flowers that we have in the shop. Like so it won't like
Right.
we won't be worrying about the color. Yeah. So I always recommend designer's choice.
Should he know his wife's favorite flower?
Do you?
Yeah, lilies.
Okay.
Okay.
He
all
answered
right.
without hesitation.
Good
you guys
stuff.
both did a good
Yeah.
job.
I had
Yeah.
to. I could.
You
because
didn't know
my
the
wives
name.
are tough.
Yeah, no, I got
We
that.
talked about it like 2 days ago because this was coming up,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
was like, "What is it again?" I know it. I could see
That's
it.
a hard one to remember. I get
Yes.
that. But you did know.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are
Yes.
doing a good job.
So now, say you're going on a first date.
Okay.
Do you bring flowers? Is that the right move? And if so,
Where are you going?
drink?
I
I
think you send flowers after the first date.
Oh,
That's what I would
really?
recommend.
Don't
Yeah.
show up with anything.
Well, it's like a little awkward, I think.
Yeah, what
You
do
know
you
what I
do
mean?
with
It's
them?
like, what do you do?
What if
and
you
like,
don't like them?
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
I would recommend like a follow up of like, it was great meeting you or chatting with you or
Let me get your address. Well,
yeah,
you got to get an
want to
address.
get married. Want to get your address.
That is a good
Oh,
move.
that's true.
Post date.
Post date needs your address. Why? I'm gonna creep on you.
Yeah. Oh
but
no,
then I'm
that
gonna
is
send you
to your house.
that is a little
Send
bit. But did you pick her up? No, you probably met her there. What are the kids doing now? I don't know.
I think the rule to be for safety is drive yourself. That's what I would
drive your
advise.
state. Yeah, that probably makes sense.
Because if you get picked up and
Right. And everybody's meeting on the internet now. Gosh, I'm glad I didn't go through that.
yeah,
But yeah.
lucky Brad.
But
was
we are good sleuths. So we, call us if you need to like track your lady down.
just, yep.
No, not really. But we can usually like be like, oh, does she work at the hospital? Like we can help
Right.
you out a little bit.
You know people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, love that. Did you have any mentors? So you make a decision. I'm going to open up a flower shop. Did you have any mentors or people that guided you to say like, all right, here's what to do?
Well, not directly, but I had like kind of indirectly through quitting my job as a lawyer and then working at my friend's shop in Savannah. So I always admired how she did that. And so definitely chatted with her some in opening it. But gosh, I really needed more mentors, but it was kind of interesting because there wasn't like no one was doing flowers the way that I wanted to do them here or otherwise. So I listened to, there's a podcast called Botanical Brouhaha, which is kind of a funny name. But she interviews shop owners and like just florists like all over the country. Yeah. So I listened to some of that. And then, I totally forgot. I did hire a florist out of California. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. I'll have to get it for you. But she was for hire for just consultation hours. And so I could just ask her questions. And so I did that before I, fully took the jump. But
What kind of questions would you ask a consultant?
How many flowers to source?
Yeah,
What
or like, well, it's
kinds?
really
to
overwhelming when you
market?
go from like the weddings to the,
Right.
delivery side, just because, I mean, flowers are a perishable product, right? So it's like, how many do you keep in the shop? Like, am I going to end up with so many flowers that I'm throwing away at the end of the week or can't use?
Right.
So it was a bit of that. And the best advice that I still think about today as far as, like hiring designers and like hiring people at the shop. She said, she was like, I would 9 times out of 10 hire someone who is really good at customer service over the person who's like your absolute stellar designer, but maybe doesn't have the customer service side. Because so much of what we do is customer service. Like we are truly in the business of making people happy at the shop. Like that's what I love to do. And like why we opened it was to like be part of this smaller community of Columbia and then to bring happiness through flowers. And so making sure that I have like the designers in the shop who are able to meet those needs for customers. Because a lot of people come in and are like, I don't know where to start. I need flowers. And especially the guys that come in, they're like, help, we need help. And so just to have the designers at the shop that are able to meet those needs and like help people out is always where I want to start. So
Did you go right to brick and mortar? Like right when you started or?
Sort of. It was like kind of, it's funny. It like all sort of organically happened. So I was pregnant with my first child when I did Betsy's wedding, the girl that I was telling you about, the very first wedding I did. And
She still made you do it. Not a flower person and pregnant. You're
I know,
doing all my flowers
but
for my
somehow
wedding.
I feel very thankful to her because she like
Yeah,
launched me on
started
this. But yeah, it is funny to look back at it. I mean, I was like 6 months pregnant, sitting on the floor of 701 Whaley, like frantically wrapping boutonnieres as she was about to go down the aisle. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But there was a woman who was the wedding planner for Betsy's wedding. Her name is Jessica Rourke. She's a local wedding planner here. And she, after Betsy's wedding, approached me and was like, I'm looking to get a brick and mortar space in Columbia and found one in the Vista. And so I shared a brick and mortar with her. and a photographer, Kathy Moore Powell, back in, I guess it was like 2011, 2012. Yeah, in the Vista. And so we just had kind of like a little meeting space. I mean, it was 500 square feet maybe.
Yeah.
And then we're there until about 2015. And I had always envisioned moving on to Divine Street at some point. And the building where we're in, it's
So
like
nice.
the little brick building. Have you been by it?
Oh, yeah. My wife loves it.
Oh, great.
I've been in it, I think, twice.
Okay.
For like the Divine Street night outs.
Oh, yeah, Divine Night Out.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. We're like nestled right in between Henry's and the fire station, like right there. It's a little brick building with big kind of black windows. And driven by that space a dozen times and just always thought about that would be perfect as a flower shop. I mean, it actually used to be one. It was called Divine Fashions and Flowers.
Oh.
It was a husband and wife team back in the like 60s, 70s, 80s. And I think he did hair and she did the flowers in the back.
That's cool.
And then it sat vacant for a long time. And there was a little sign in the window that just said for sale one day, like a tiny little handwritten sign. And so I called and made a deal with the wife and we were able to buy it.
That's awesome.
So then did a whole big renovation. I mean, it's only 1,000 square feet. So it's bigger renovation as that could be, but it was cut up into a lot of like different little spaces. And so we blew it out and, took the ceiling was like a drop ceiling. It was painted like purple and teal. So we turned it into kind of what it is today, and we've been there since then.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
it's great. And so it kind of, truly just like organically happened in that way. And then in the space, I actually shared that space with a couple tenants. Jessica moved over there and then had a videographer and a baker there at one point. I mean, there was like a whole bunch of different kind of wedding vendors.
Yeah.
And Fern kept gradually growing. So I got down to 2 people and then finally was like, okay, this space isn't big enough for everybody. And then in 2020, it's actually hilarious because on January 2020, I opened the flower shop fully. It was like full service flower shop. It was like, we're going to do deliveries. We're going to go all in. And then, 6 weeks later. But it worked out. It actually was interesting doing flowers during COVID because it was like one small source of joy that people could actually porch drop other people.
Right.
Though it was hilarious. I have a studio director, Ashley Thigpen Fullerton. She's amazing and she runs a shop for me, but I was pregnant with my 4th child in 2020 and then had to be homeschooling the other 3. So I was like, Ashley, you, I know, have just made the decision to leave your full-time job to take this risk with me to open this flower shop. And now the world is shutting down and I cannot help you, but I will keep you on if you can help make the flowers and take them. So she was like a one-woman show through 2020 and I owe it to her for us surviving it. Oh yeah. She runs the show.
Wow.
She's the best. So if you go in there, it's usually Ashley's usually the one who is around, but yeah.
Cool.
We had rooted yoga. On the show.
Yeah.
And her husband, it sounds like, was kind of like business minded too. And when she stopped her job to go do her thing, he was like, all right, the only rule is you have to make money or break even, or else we have to figure something else out.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what your husband's conversation with you was when you were like, you know what, I'm pregnant with my 4th child and I think we should go brick and mortar flower shop.
Well, I actually since we already had the building, like it wasn't as dramatic of a leap because I was already doing that because I bought the building in 2015. So it wasn't quite as dramatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
So the building, because I bought it and then kind of rented it out to a few other tenants, it wasn't as dramatic of a financial move.
Got it.
It was sort of like a,
You
slow
eased your way
increase.
into it,
Yes.
which that's a good way to do it too.
Yeah, so it worked out pretty well. Like things sort of grew organically at the same time, so it was able to take on additional expenses. So it wasn't as dramatic, but I think it's awesome when businesses are able to do that and just like take a full leap of faith. So
Right.
Yeah. That's great.
yeah.
What I guess so. What would you say your established date? Like when would you say Fern was established? 2010.
Yeah, so I got the LLC in 2010.
2010?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
How'd you know
then-
that?
Well,
I know,
I
we
listened,
kinda-
Randy.
I
She
know.
said 2011 she was doing
Started.
stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
He's got it. I love it.
Was it October? We opened
2010.
Columbia
Is that
Family
when y'all did?
Chiropractic was
Really?
October 2010.
Oh my gosh.
20th.
We might have been like the same, little
Yeah.
business sparks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was, I'll have to look back at when I applied for the LLC. I think it might have been the summer of 2010.
Yep.
But yeah.
That's cool. So
Good
what,
time.
and then what had there been, so COVID, what other challenges happen in the flower biz?
Oh.
Like any
I
wedding
mean,
blunders where you're like, the truck catches on fire and the wedding
I
has
did
0
have-
flowers.
No, none of that,
Okay.
thankfully. I feel like there's always, we're very much problem solvers. So if there
Figure it
are
out.
plenty of challenges. Cars getting stuck in the mud, things breaking down, flowers
Right.
coming in improperly, but there's always people willing to help or like ways to figure
Yep.
it out. I'm trying to think.
And you guys deliver, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We deliver. It's a 5-mile radius from our shop. Right now we're like
Okay.
looking to expand a little beyond that. But that right now will reach us like West Columbia.
Sure.
Not quite to you guys in the Northeast,
Yep.
but once in a while, if we have a slow day and someone calls us and we can accommodate
it
it,
out
we
there,
will.
yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we do that. We like to bring flowers to the people, but I don't know. I'm thinking about a second location at some point. We have Lexington demands and
Yeah.
kind of going out toward the lake a little bit. Yeah.
Do your kids like flowers?
Oh yeah,
They
they
do?
love it. Yeah, it's so fun, and I like to bring them home to them, and they'll play with them, and kind of like, put things in vases too, which is cool.
Now, what if so say your husband screws up? Can
Yeah.
he bring you flowers? And does he just go to your shop?
He
Or has he
actually
ever-
he does. He just will order, like he'll text Ashley or Sharon or
Yeah.
Susan at the shop, and he'll be like, "Hey, yeah, no, he totally does."
That's nice. to
And
have
should
that.
do that more often. No, it's great. But I'll never say no to any kind of flowers.
Would it be hilarious if like you made the bouquet and he was giving it to you?
Luckily, all of our husbands at the shop will sometimes do that. And
Okay.
we always like trade off. We're
To
like,
make sure.
oh, yeah.
This
I'd be
is
like,
for you
oh,
and your-
Joey's sending flowers to Sharon again. We got to help her. out. Yeah. We never make anybody make their own.
That would
It's
be
like, wouldn't that be
hilarious.
great? Yeah. He's going to get hit over the head with those flowers.
Do you remember your first time you ever got flowers?
That I ever got flowers.
7th grade.
Oh,
Dance.
Dance.
it should be like
Little
the,
Marty Bender.
no.
Well,
God,
sometimes
that's
because sometimes I bring my daughters flowers.
Oh
on,
yeah,
like Valentine's Day or
no. We
and
like
I think,
highly
like,
encourage that because it also then then down the road she'll learn to expect them from
Yeah,
her person later.
I mean, I have no
I think
clue
it's
what I'm doing
awesome.
when I get them.
Oh my gosh, any flower is great.
Yeah.
And I think even truly like Trader Joe's or grocery stores, like we obviously think ours are the best, but
Do you
Any
think there are
flowers are
women
good.
that don't like flowers? Like, is that a real thing?
I've had people say that. They're definitely like different types of brides. I'll say that. Like there's
Yeah.
ones that like more prioritize flowers or more into flowers,
Yep.
which is our kind of bride. Cause you hear all of the different types of flowers and we
Right.
like get really into it and like all the color nuances.
Yeah.
And there's some brides that just like want to check the box and that's totally okay. They're like, we just need a bouquet. And we're like, we're not your florist, but that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I believe anyone like truly doesn't like them. Maybe I just
Right.
don't appreciate them as much,
Right.
but I don't know.
And then like I wish like the names are tough.
No, I know.
Right?
That's okay. You don't have to know all
How
of them.
many different
Oh my gosh,
yeah, like,
thousands.
thousands?
No,
But
and there's
how about at your
still-
store? You guys
Oh, at
will
our
source-
shop? We'll get like hundreds of different kinds.
Really?
Like
And you could you see them and know what they are?
most of them, most of the ones that
Really?
we get in, but there'll be ones that'll be like new ones or growers like
Yeah.
sending something out or they've like done a hybrid of something that looks different. We get really excited when there's something new
Something
that,
fresh.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I met a guy at Blossom at this last like fig party.
Okay.
Older guy, Tom something, who's like
Okay.
a plant bot. I mean, he makes plants. He said he made 65 new plant
Like he
flower-
propagates them
Yes.
or, oh wow. That's great.
which I thought was cool.
That is really cool.
Like just thinking he's hooking up plants at his place to create like you don't even know what the flower's gonna be.
Sounds pretty fun. That's cool.
He's gonna make them 14 letters long so that you can't remember any of the names.
Right.
I know all the like scientific names. You
Yeah.
know.
Do they have a simple name like
We end up abbreviating a lot of them. Like ranunculus, we're like Renux, but I don't know.
Like nicknames.
That's
Yeah, Lizzianthus is Lizzie. It's just like anything
Yeah.
else.
Yep.
I was wondering if you could tell me the name of some of these flowers,
Yeah.
because I feel like no one's ever actually gone through.
Well, the
and
one you
said
thought
what
is a
ones.
rose is actually a Lizzianthus, and that
A
is a local
Lizzianthus.
Lizzianthus.
Okay.
So that's
And
the white guy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the white one. Oh, it's so pretty. That's from Boone Fox Farm. That's Brenton's farm.
And this one has a double flower.
yeah,
on it.
and it's beautiful. So,
that
and
rare?
they are like at the peak of their season, so they're like extra pretty. And those have a vase life. Like those will probably last you like 3 weeks.
Nice.
They're great. Those are zinnias, and there's a bunch of zinnias in there. So you've got, a bunch of different
Pinks,
colors.
the
Yeah, the
orange,
pinks,
different
yellows. There's like a queen lime in there.
Okay.
And then there's one that
What's this pink guy right here?
Which pink guy?
That one. Tulip?
Oh, no, that's alstroemeria. So that's kind of a basic flower. Like you'll see that in grocery store bouquets, but I actually love alstroemeria because it does great at the bottom of an arrangement. And then you can like float your
Yeah.
prettier zinnia flowers up above.
Yeah.
here's one with a it
Yeah.
looks like a raspberry inside.
I know,
of
isn't
it.
that cool? That's a zinnia.
Still a zinnia.
I
What were the
know.
little yellow ones?
Those are coreopsis.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
the
I
names
mean, I
are
know.
just-
No way we're
It's like
gonna know.
out of control.
That's why guys will never
That's
know that.
okay, but
We
that's
need, like,
that's our job.
orange,
So you
yellow,
just call.
red.
We got you. That's Abelia. It's so pretty.
Ophelia.
Yes, Abelia, and it's funny. You'll see that bush. It's like a little shrub. Will actually be in like Chick-fil-A parking lots, but they cut it in like a little mound.
Oh.
It's like so that it doesn't grow pretty like that in Chick-fil-A parking lots. But if you let it grow crazy, it'll get like all those pretty flowers on it.
And then when you get the bouquet, you're supposed to smell it right away, right?
Sure.
How do you know how close to be to it?
Or, you know,
How
just-
long?
It's personal
Yeah.
preference, I feel like, right? Well, like your wife's favorite flower, lilies, you don't have to get, those are very
Right
fragrant.
away.
And so you would just like walking by, like if I walked in a room with lilies, I'd know because it's very fragrant.
Spearmint's
Yeah.
real fragrant.
Yeah, like
Love it. You
spearmint.
just move that around it.
Yeah.
Spearmint.
Oh, yeah.
No, I know.
Randy likes getting his schnoz deep in them.
Oh, yeah,
Sometimes
you
I
go
feel like-
ahead.
Yeah,
Sometimes
dips
people
it in there.
are like, "Oh, do you want to smell them?" And I'm like,
And you're like,
I
yeah.
guess,
You just
yeah.
does
It's
it
like,
awkwardly.
so you do that with like wine tastings too? Like really shove your face in there?
I
He smells everything he can. Did he smell you on the way?
I don't know if
No.
I noticed.
I don't do wine tastings at all anymore.
Okay.
I've done
you got
one in the
embarrassed
last
by
5
how much
years.
you put your
No,
face in the
I
wine.
just don't. I think I just get embarrassed because I just don't know what it tastes like
all
or
tastes
know
the
any
same.
different. And
no, I get that.
I always feel like there's someone telling me like, "Oh, can't you tell like the smokiness of the?"
Oh, well, we
of
will
the
never
purple
put that
grape?
pressure on you with flowers.
Yeah,
There's no pressure. That is literally why we are there to
Close
help
your
you
eyes
out.
and name this
I love
flower. So how do you guys organize them then in the shop? Do you do it by color? Do you do it by size? Do you-
Yeah, well, actually, see the little card that's on the top here?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can reach it. That if you pull that out, that's the picture of the shop with the flower bar.
Oh, nice.
So we do it all
it
kind of
is.
by type and color, and then organize it sort of by height so you
Yep.
can see them. And everything's kind of done by the variety. We like to make it really, aesthetically beautiful.
Beautiful.
That's nice. So this was like a Thursday night example. Is this what it
Yeah,
would look like? Because
Yeah,
I love
and
that idea. You get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday when you get all your stuff.
Yep,
like
we get
your
them all in,
commercial
and then
orders,
Thursday starts the flower bar, and
Yes.
we go through the weekend. We're closed on Saturdays in the summer, but during the year, otherwise,
Is it
we're open on
BYOB?
Saturdays.
Is that what you do? You just bring it like a cooler and hang out and build flowers?
Oh, that would be a fun party, wouldn't it?
Like I'm
I-
thinking about taking my wife there on a date, let her go nuts.
Oh yeah,
But
no, you
then
could
what am
totally
I
do
gonna
that.
Have a little sipper?
Yeah, sure. We'd welcome that. Come on in.
Nice. Well,
I'm
Megan, I
excited
guess-
because we're actually working on like expanding our space a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
meeting with some contractors about because I mentioned it's only 1,000 square feet. We're like busting at the seams, so I'm gonna take that into
Put a little-
account
yeah.
for when we do the next space, like a little spot where
little sitting
maybe
area.
a little sitting area where
We
you
bring our
guys
wives.
can,
Yep.
and then they can shop at the flower bar.
We sit.
And you guys can bring your own bar.
and they're happy.
That sounds
We're
great.
happy.
Oh yeah.
Kills two birds, one stone.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't even know what you do. Just pretend that you like
stand-
what she's picking.
Yeah, you gotta
out.
keep.
No, you
just
do.
keep walking around. and
That's right. You
smell-
bring-
putting your nose.
You
on
just
as
bring
many
your
things as
your credit card. That's what you do.
You're just walking around sniffing
Smelling
different
everything.
ones. Oh, I've smelled
Over
that
and
one
over.
before.
So do you see yourself expanding into plants then, or like?
We might do like a little plant station area.
Yeah.
Like I mean, we'll never be like a full nursery, but we would do, some
Couple.
like specialty, like really pretty little plants that would kind of go along. I mean, they're, it makes sense. It's like a natural expansion. But
What about having your own farm one day?
I am not cut out for that.
No.
No, I think I really like gardening myself, but I really appreciate all the hard work that the farmers put in and really love arranging the flowers when they come already beautiful like that.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you guys do like a retainer where it's like, hey, I want you to send my wife just automated?
Yeah, we do.
Really?
Yeah, we do subscriptions and we can do it for, 3 months is about the minimum, but we can do it, however you want to set it up. We have a few clients that do that actually.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Do you write something every time? Like I'm kind of thinking like,
Yeah, we can.
That would be cool.
And we have some that'll even like drop off cards or you can, so you can bring them in or you can dictate them to us or whatever you like. But it's great. And we have an email list. We don't send out very many emails, but we'll email about like Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. Like we launch separate collections for those. But I think our guy customers are usually the ones looking for those emails to, remember to send their flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Like, be funny to like put words at like, hey, I was just thinking about you today.
Yeah.
And then it's like the flower
Just shows up.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I have no idea.
And
It's just automated.
No, 100% we can do that.
That
We
would
are
be
literally here to make you guys look good. Like that is
Yes.
part of our job.
That's great. All right. How about vases? Is it vases, vases?
I say vase, but I think it depends on where you're from.
How about
Vase.
multiple?
Multiple vases?
Is it vases? Okay.
Oh, I say vases. Vases?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know if it's like mice.
I think it's vase.
Mouse.
I think it's vase and vases. Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Sounds right.
where are you getting all those and like how many do you stock of those guys?
Yeah, we get them from all over. We have a couple like larger company type sources for some of our like, arrangements that we do a lot. We have like certain featured vases that are just the easy ones on our website, a couple different sizes. But we're always looking for like different, more fun ones. We'll partner sometimes with, I have a friend who owns like an antique shop called Turner and Moss down. Do you know Ansley Whiteside?
Why does that sound familiar?
Well, she's the best.
She's the best.
Yeah.
That's it.
But she owns a shop in 5 Points called Turner and Moss, and we'll partner with her sometimes. She does vintage collections, and so she'll sometimes source vintage vases
That's
for
cool.
us, and so we'll do special collections for like Mother's Day with her.
Yeah.
But we are always looking for new fun vases. So
What's the
keep things
biggest
fun.
arrangement that you've tossed in a vase?
in a
Is there-
vase,
or I guess maybe just give us both. Like the biggest vase that's not maybe it's going to be a little obnoxious.
like an urn, like a wedding urn. I've made a wedding urn that was 12 feet tall.
What?
For a wedding, yes.
How does
we
that
do.
even
I mean,
work?
it's like using stems like this, but they're like the size of trees. It's very fun.
So they have to grow them that long?
Oh, well, not the flowers themselves, but it's
oh.
like we basically take trees, like the greenery, and grow them. They're that long. Like we cut them that
Gotcha.
way. And then you can tube the flowers and kind of put them in like water tube. That's what I mean. Like you put little water tubes on the end of them so they have a water source, and you can like tape them to the branches to kind of bring them outward and make a really large arrangement. But for an arrangement that you would send,
What's
I don't
absurd?
know. Absurd?
100 stems? And
Yeah,
is that the lingo?
sure.
Is that how we should be
We
talking
don't really.
stems?
No, I like talk more. I'm like in size.
Like, I don't know how many stem. Like, would I count each individual stem here?
20
Yeah,
stems.
no,
this
you
is
would.
But some of them are just leaves, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's right. I mean, maybe like 200 stems. Or like, I mean, we could make you something
Yeah.
crazy for like
So this would be like
$500.
20
or
stems, probably.
20 banger. Do you call it a 20 banger?
Yeah, 20. Yeah, that one's
standard.
20 stems, sure. Maybe a little less. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, has anybody done like the what's your biggest order for not like wedding, not that
Oh,
like,
that just
I
goes
gotta
out?
sending it to
We try not to go like so over the, because it's a little embarrassing, right? Like if you got something that wouldn't fit through the door, like
right.
what person
What
knows
are
what
you
to
doing?
do with
Can't even
it?
carry it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you were doing something really over the top, maybe in the 500s-ish.
Wow.
So we could do whatever, how badly do you screw
open to
up?
And then what's good filler? So we talk flowers, but then what are the things that?
So like the abelia, that is this one here. Yep.
That's an abelia, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we prefer to use stuff like that has like a little flower to it or something a little bit more like exciting greenery as kind of your base, rather than just like, baby's breath or something that's like a little old school looking.
Baby's breath. Is that still cool?
Well, it's funny because people have really gotten into like doing all baby's breath together. But do you know, speaking of smelling flowers, baby's breath smells awful.
Yeah.
It smells real bad. So if you get like a lot of it together, you don't want it. But there was a big wedding trend for a while that people liked the clouds of baby's breath, like garlands of baby's breath, and like all baby's breath bouquets. And I mean, it had its moment. I'm kind of glad for it to leave. But so we don't really use baby's breath in it. I think it feels like a little bit dated. But again, like greenery that you would like more locally grown greenery or greenery you'd find in your yard is a lot prettier than something like that.
I just can't get over roses being out.
Well,
I thought
it's
of
not,
roses
okay, hold on.
as the
Not
one
fully.
time.
No. I need to clarify because I love a rose, but it's all the same roses, and like a dozen roses is what feels a little dated. So it's like a dozen red roses, and it's like the little red roses that like don't open a lot. Like we especially love like garden roses. It's like English tea roses, like the ones that blow open and are like this big. Like people think that they are the peony flowers. I don't know if you guys can even picture what I'm saying at all. You're like,
I can picture the
But okay. Well, there are roses that look like that. Those are what the girls like. And we know what roses they like. But it's like the kind of old school, like, I don't know, like the rose that you get in like the tube at the gas station. Yeah, like that.
Or
vibe.
like the Bachelor. What the Bachelor
Yeah, the Bachelor,
gives.
exactly.
That's cheesy.
The Bachelor rose is cheesy.
But what if it
That's
was yellow?
I mean, that's better.
Spray painted though, not.
But we have
grown.
yellow roses that are prettier shapes. Like even if it was like the Bachelor rose, but yellow, it's like the shape of it that feels dated.
Yeah.
It feels a little old school.
So I think I see what you see. I for sure know he doesn't. When did you develop like you said you had like a eye for art?
Sure.
When did you kind of know that you could see the beauty? Because it's hard to train Randy.
I mean,
I
some
can
people
barely even
just
get
don't have
dressed.
it, and that's okay. And that's why he comes to our shop, and we help out the Randys of the world.
Right.
That is literally why we are here.
You know what he's doing more though that he said is helping him is he's watching a little reality TV and picking up on like trends and what's out there.
It depends on what reality show. Like I wouldn't pick up the Bachelor trends. Like what reality shows are you watching?
Well,
Survivor? What'd you grab?
no, I don't really like watching them. The only reality
Love
TV
Island?
that I ever really liked was the first episode of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. Actually, The
That is a
Bachelor.
guilty pleasure. I do like The Bachelor.
First episode of The Bachelorette was my favorite because you would get to see all the guys come in and do their initial presentation.
yeah.
And then you get to see them all kind of fight for attention.
Yeah, right.
I like that. But then
No,
once
I
it
get
got
that.
down to like 10 or 12, then I was like, all right.
You're
no,
out.
I'm not really
Okay.
into this anymore.
Just don't like take on their style or life choices, maybe.
But because Tom watches so
I
much
watch
of
a
it,
ton.
he knows.
Oh, really?
Oh, I love it.
He
I love
understands-
what?
I love Bravo.
Okay.
So like most things on
Project
Bravo.
Runway?
Southern Hospitality.
I love
Project
yes.
Run. Did you see they're bringing it back?
I did not know that.
I just saw Heidi on a commercial the other day. She looks exactly the
It was
same, which
I
is no
love that
surprise.
show, yes.
Yeah, it's so good.
I'm into all the South Carolina stuff. Southern Charm, Southern Hospitality.
Yeah. Oh, this is a really fun thing. If you like Southern Charm, we used to do a lot of like styled shoots.
Yeah.
To kind of build up a portfolio of photographs and everything. And one of my very first models, who was the bride, was Catherine from Southern Charm.
Was it?
Yeah, she was
No
in
way.
college here at USC, and she was probably like 21, and was like one of the brides.
Was she
in our
on the
shoot.
because she was
It
coming
was
on
before the show.
then. Yeah,
No, it was before. So
close.
I mean, she could have been like 19. I
Maybe,
don't know, but it was
yeah.
right. It was like a year before the show started.
Gotcha.
It was like well before anyone knew who she.
Yeah.
She probably thought everyone knew who she was because that was but it's still wild. Yeah, Fern claim to fame. There you go.
But you were kind of implying that because you watch so much, or no, I
Yeah.
told
Well,
you.
you said that, and I
Because
was
you
like,
watch
oh,
so
maybe
much-
that's it.
He watches so
I
much
never
reality
thought about
TV
it.
that he knows when things are in or out. So I'll show up wearing something and he'll be like, "Oh no, that's been out for 6 months." And I'm
Well,
like,
do you listen?
"What do you mean?" When he tells me
Yeah,
stuff?
he
Yeah.
listens. He
Okay,
listens.
good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Like
I
I,
should
what?
have seen him.
Like
he's
cargo
Canadian, so he's
shorts?
Canadian. Yes, like he
I
would
do
have
like cargo. I do
okay.
like cargo shorts.
get it. So like he's transitioned to America, and now he's kind of like his style's gotten much better.
Okay. Okay.
I have no
when
problem
Southern
listening.
America is different.
Different
than,
world. Yeah.
All right. So are you more like in the Southern charm vibe now?
I have no clue.
Still doesn't know.
I just
What do we think, Tom? Yeah.
He's just right now we're working on his like it was golf, so like that's where
Okay.
he like looks normal now,
Yeah.
which is good.
Okay, that's
Before it was like you could tell he was
Like
straight
you're-
from Canada.
Like you're wearing
It's
like
winter.
capri pants, kind of.
no,
Yeah.
I
Okay,
wasn't. I
brown,
don't think it was
brown
that.
shoes, black socks.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just stuff that just.
Like sometimes I show up, he's like, "You look like a used car salesman
No,
from like the '80s."
it's good to have a Tom in your life.
I'm like, I think you're right. I just don't know. Like, I would walk into a store and not know what to do.
So
Just like I
now-
would walk into a flower shop and be like,
Do you send
have
him
zero
mirror
clue.
selfies now?
He should.
No, I got so my
He likes to just test stuff. He likes to
Yeah.
show up in it and then see what I'll
and then
say.
see how it goes. Yeah, but my niece Dalen moved here from Indiana and she works at Slate,
Okay.
so she helped me.
Oh, cool.
And she stayed with us for a while, so she helped me
Yeah,
a
if
lot
she
in the
works at
beginning.
Slate, she's got you.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, now what is your favorite flower?
Oh,
You only get to
see.
choose one.
We
I
don't get
can't.
asked
You're gonna
that
go-
very often.
Oh, I
Yep, and you're
can't.
gonna give me 5, and I want 1.
One.
You're turning your whole shop into one flower.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I could never. But the whole thing that we do is we do a lot. Like every arrangement has a lot of flowers in them. You're not gonna let me pick in like more than one.
Well, maybe I'll give you 2, like one for half the year and then the other half.
Okay, I would say Cafe Olay dahlias are always one of my favorites,
What was
and they are
that?
so.
I can't spell that.
Love those.
They're beautiful.
Great.
Randy knows. Cafe au lait, like the drink, it's like the color. It's like this. And some of them come with like the petals are all different colors, like, or like different shades. It's like a pale corally blush. I'm losing you.
Olay. I think Olay is
Cafe au lait.
is milk in French.
Yes, it's like a
I'm
milky,
picturing-
creamy.
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny because I like was hating on, neutral weddings earlier, but these flowers are just spectacular. And they call them, another nickname for them is dinner plate dahlias. So like the size of a dinner plate. They're gorgeous.
big.
They're huge. But some of their petals like curl in the center. They're really special. Anyway, dahlias. So those are maybe my fall. Ranunculus are up there.
Really?
Yeah.
So Megan's
Megan's
got
on
good
it.
taste.
She has great taste.
Expensive taste too.
I mean, but it's worth it. They're
Yeah.
so pretty. Yeah, those are up there.
That's what we had in our wedding.
Oh
Because
yeah.
it was a winter wedding. She said it was a
Okay.
winter wedding,
Yeah.
so she couldn't do peonies. Peonies
Right.
aren't in the winter.
And I mean, I love a peony, but yeah, they're only in kind of the spring, summer. Though sometimes you can get them a little bit in the winter. Well, they're really expensive because they can do them in Alaska,
Really?
in South America. Yeah, they try to give us peonies a lot of times, but nobody wants to pay $50 a stem. Yeah, they're
Holy
really expensive.
cow.
It's so expensive.
What? Well, so wedding time. Someone's
Yeah.
planning their budget or they want to meet with you.
Mm-hmm.
What's kind of the range and size? Is there like a small,
Yeah.
medium, large package?
Sure. So we do a couple different types of weddings. Like we'll do our full service wedding, which is where our whole team goes on Saturday and we like set up everything and do these giant installations where, we could build you a whole flower wall or like a giant arch or whatever it is you wanted. Or we can do like a partial design wedding where we can do bouquets and small centerpieces and you can pick those up the day before the wedding, or we can, send someone to deliver if needed. And I would say, I mean, weddings are expensive. So like the ones like the full service over the top one, I mean,
More than Randy spent on his whole wedding.
it's more than a lot of people spend on their whole wedding. But that's why, part of opening the flower shop for me was I didn't want it just to be these really expensive weddings. We're the only ones that got to see all of these really special flowers. Mm-hmm. So now, you could have a courthouse wedding where it's just you and a witness, then we can do the bouquet for you and you come pick it up and, $300 and it's like gorgeous, stunning, really special bouquet that's in like all of your photographs. And so we can do that all the way up to, decking the halls.
Whatever someone wants to
Whatever
spend.
you want.
Whatever you want. Cover the
Yeah,
whole
exactly.
wall. Is there anything unique happening nowadays that you're seeing in this flower space that maybe the average Joe like us would not even know about?
With weddings?
weddings or just stuff you're doing for with flowers, like the 12-foot thing. I didn't even think. Who's building
most
this
people
stuff?
don't. Well, that's part of the really exciting part of my job is I get to like think through all the
Architect it,
mechanics.
like,
yeah, I love figuring out like a new type of installation. I mean, that's what I started doing at the beginning, and now, I mean, I really love doing that. And coming up with things that nobody has ever seen. And especially in Columbia where we've got, like a handful of wedding venues and people have been to all of these different weddings. So it's nice to be able to do something different every time we go there. And that's my favorite thing.
Like, have you made a flower suit? Like, say I wanted to wear a suit.
Oh my gosh,
flowers.
I would happily welcome that challenge.
You could do.
Yeah.
And it's good for
covered.
Yeah, you'd have to do. I mean, you'd
That's
have
like
to
the
wear
project.
it.
Do you know the flower challenge on Project Runway?
Yeah, like all those.
Have you legitimately watched that show?
I'm dead
I don't know if
serious.
I believe you.
Dead serious. I watched it.
But they do like the flower one. Yeah,
I've seen that.
I would kill it.
Yes.
I would love it.
I was picturing like an Adam and Eve like flower.
Like just covers the parts.
I'm picturing like a full blazer
I was
of
thinking
flowers,
blazer.
right?
Yeah, blazer.
I mean, we do like cool pocket squares of flowers, and we can do like all kinds of like flower crowns. Oh, yeah. I mean, I would love to do a hat, like something really cool, like
even like
avant-garde.
this hat, you could just pluck in a bunch of flowers.
I'd pick a cooler hat than that.
Okay.
But yeah.
And flower girls, I'm hearing, are kind of going away. Is that a thing?
Oh,
Flower bros.
I don't know.
Flower bro? Yeah.
They're-
No, it's beer bros. They like run through throwing beers, or
Right.
like they have a dog that drops flowers.
We're usually not involved in
You're
that,
not
the
in
beer
that.
bro thing, luckily. So, I mean, we're doing like the ring bearer little guys. But no, I mean, I think the flower girls will always be around the Southern weddings just
Yeah.
because there's always like a traditionalist type bride with a bunch of little girl cousins that want to be flower girls.
Right.
But we always do little crowns for them. Oh, I love a flower girl. They're so cute.
and then you have to pick the stem, or you pick the leaves off for it.
Yeah, so we'll just make, a little flower crown, put it on a little ribbon, and make them feel like a princess. Great.
What kind of water are you using over there? Just regular tap?
Regular water, yeah, tap water.
Are you doing any plant food or flower food?
We have a plant food or a flower food. It's called
Mixture.
Crisol. Yeah, and we just have it in like a big pump, and we treat the flowers with that when they come in, like when we first process them, because flowers will be, they will be out of water just in a cooler for. Some of the ones that you're getting from overseas will be that way for like a week or two. It's kind of remarkable how they can survive. So they're very dehydrated. So you put them in the bucket and they perk back up. Yeah.
What are those flower open up, like the flowers that open up? Like sometimes I'll get flowers and they'll go in the water and they're kind of sealed.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of days goes
irises
by and
are
you're
like
"Whoa,
that.
what's
No,
this?"
yeah. A lot of them will do that. Like the alstroemeria, just like the basic flowers we were looking at that's in this bundle was like that.
So you can, they'll cut them when they're not even open yet. Right?
Yeah. And that's actually the time that, and
awesome.
Brenton could speak more to it of like timing it right. But you
Yeah.
cut them, especially like roses, like garden roses are like that. You cut them more when they're budding. And then when they hit the water, and peonies are like that. They're like tight little balls when we get them in, which is perfect because then when you guys see them on the customer side, they're like at their most pretty. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. And then what kind of team are you working with at Fern? How many people?
Oh, I love my
What-
team. I could never do it without them. They're the literal best. I have 7 employees.
Okay.
A couple are full-time. A couple kind of, are part-time, and then, people that fill in the margins. Yeah.
Any
they're
volunteers?
fabulous.
Like, what if somebody's like, "Hey, I want to volunteer"?
We get
Or
we get
intern.
inquiries a lot. Yeah, we do interns. I love partnering, especially with students. Like we work with some of the hospitality students or retail business students at USC. Usually, it doesn't have to be USC, but
Yeah.
they a lot of times can get credit for an internship, and I love working with interns. So we'll do that from time to time. And because fall and spring is usually when their classes are, and that's our busiest time with weddings. So it actually works out quite well. So anyone listening to this and want to give us a shout about interning, we're always open. We get volunteers once in a while. I think volunteers are usually surprised at how much more work it is. Like people think that our job is so glamorous, and 10% of it is like, it's beautiful, but there's like a lot of like scrubbing buckets, cleaning glassware, lifting boxes. We joke that we're professional movers on wedding days because we are literally packing everything up and carrying it across, sometimes fields to get it to wherever your wedding is being set up. So
Do you have a flower vehicle?
I am in the market and looking for something like
Like
that.
a Sprinter van.
Yeah, but I actually want something cuter. I really want I want like an old mail truck or something, but it has to be, the stars have to align because it has to be not refrigerated. It has to be air conditioned well. And has to be something that like my younger delivery drivers can drive. Like I can't have a 5-speed, no. Right. But I'm trying to find, that's like one of my next projects. So right now, our girls just use their own cars, and then I just reimburse for delivery charges. But yeah.
What's your go-to social media?
Instagram is primarily where we are. There's Susan who works in my shop and is awesome. Is like trying to get our TikTok going, but I confess I don't really pay attention. I know. Do you guys do that? Are y'all on TikTok?
We're on it, but we don't do like the. Yeah. We don't do the trends.
I'm not on it because I think it's still kind of think it's.
Well, we're on it. You're on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're on it.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't even know that.
Does Caroline get you guys on it?
Caroline gets us on it.
I figure. Yeah. Susan is at our shop that's trying to get us on TikTok, and she does a good job. I think I don't get on it like I should, but we're primarily Instagram is where we are mostly. Like if you're wondering about our day-to-day offerings, like we usually post a lot of the flower bar and like what we get in week to week and all of our pretty weddings and behind the scenes, all that's on Instagram.
Nice. So then outside of the Thursday flower bars, are there any other unique events or things that you do or have coming up?
Not too much coming up. Summer is like a slow season for us. Though I will say that this will air after this. Is like our shop's 30% off right now. But when you hear this, you probably will not be. But yeah, we do workshops. We'll do some more workshops in the fall. Our wreath workshop in the holidays is very popular. That one always sells out to make big, pretty door wreath for Christmas.
That's good.
That's a fun one. We do, I think you said you've been to our shop for Divine Night Out.
Yep.
So that's a big night. A lot of people that have never been in our shop usually find us that night, which is fun. So it's nice to like connect with the community then. One of the things that we did a lot of this spring, we did a few like corporate workshops, which this was like our first spring doing them like outside of the studio. So I went and taught a workshop for I think around 40 people at the Cambria Hotel downtown.
Cool. Yeah.
And we just set everything up there. It was for Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it was like one of their team building. I think it was the beginning of a big conference for them.
That'd be
and
awesome.
it was really a great turnout and we had a great reception for it. So I would welcome more of the corporate workshops too.
Good.
Yeah.
So they could reach out to you if they want to do that. And
just come to our website and find our contact there. And we are glad to do kind of team building workshops either at our shop. We'll do private workshops at Fern on Divine Street, or we can accommodate going somewhere else too.
Nice. And then I just had one to two more quick questions.
Please.
Like fake flowers. What are your thoughts on those? Are you like an anti?
I have like a mixed opinion on fake flowers. We do not, it's actually funny because people will sometimes say, do you do real flowers too? Like they come in and I'm like, oh, these are real. Because a lot of them like look so pristine and perfect that they are surprised that they're not fake. I will use fake flowers like very, very strategically in like larger wedding installations it just like adds a burst of color.
You go to like Hobby Lobby? Where are you getting them?
No, we have like wholesale sources, but I would say that is like 1%. And it would be a conversation too. Like you're not going to hire us for your wedding and then we show up with fake flowers. No. It's like all real and beautiful and natural flowers. But I used to be like completely anti, but they've done so much work on artificial flowers, silk flowers now that it is very convincing.
That's what I was wondering is if there'd ever be a shift to everything being artificial.
No, never.
You don't think?
Never. I will say that so confidently.
Because like you would just reuse.
You cannot fully ever replicate like how beautiful nature can grow flowers. But I mean, here's an example. Like there was, we had a wedding that was in June and the bride was obsessed with blue hydrangeas, and it is so hot in June and hydrangeas will like die a very quick death in June. So we like built some things that, had some very beautiful and convincing silk flowers to help out with that. So she could get exactly what she wanted.
Yep. Now, when you travel, what do you like to look at or go to? And do you like base it around the flower shop?
Like travel, when I travel where? For like
leisure
personal travel?
Yep.
I mean, I really like to go to like European cities would be my first choice if I could just go.
Okay.
That would be, I feel like that's where I would get the most inspiration. Wish that would happen more than it does, but life.
Are you like a big greenhouse person or like going to like
like for flowers? Oh,
like
yeah.
just to check things out?
Yeah.
See what's happening.
I mean, one really beautiful garden is the Biltmore. They have like gorgeous greenhouses if you're looking for somewhere that's like drivable. The botanical gardens at Riverbanks are really beautiful. Depends on the time of year, but I mean, that's like anywhere. But that's another good one.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then what do you like to do for fun is my last.
Did I mention I have 4 kids? Did I mention that on this podcast yet? So I don't really, I like drive them to baseball.
Right. Yeah.
No, I mean, I still like making things. Like some friends of mine and I got together the other weekend and made some like paper geraniums, which sounds like really nerdy when I say that on a podcast.
All right, we'll edit that out.
You should edit that out. Okay, but anyone who's listening to this that like cares about design, I mean, it's kind of like that. And you like paint the. You're making fun of me now.
Any knitting?
I like knitting. No, I haven't knitted. I wish I did. No,
that's great.
I feel like I need more time.
You
for
do any
things to
tennis?
Do for fun.
Pickleball.
I've played pickleball a couple times. That is very fun. Do you guys play pickleball?
Dabble.
Not much. Yeah.
I mean, you probably need better outfits if you're.
Yeah.
I play hockey mostly.
Okay, all right,
Hockey and
Canadian.
golf.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, my last question is about how when you bring all this to your husband and you show him like, isn't this so beautiful? This looks so good.
Yeah.
What's the proper responses? Like, walk me through some responses for.
Like
he gives.
when
like
you.
for me, for example, something is beautiful. I'm sure.
Oh,
Should
all
Randy say
affirmation.
that's stunning?
Absolutely.
Oh, that looks
that's stunning. That's
amazing.
perfect.
What do you like
I
about
love
it?
you.
I like the way the colors match.
That's exactly right. I mean, yeah, you just affirm everything she's saying.
Yeah, like you look like when you get an arrangement,
We
you
need
should
more adjectives.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't know how to tell. I'd be like, oh, those are nice or those are beautiful. But like you can tell, when a person wants more, they want me to say that I like the
stemming.
way that the colors
The
arrange
stiffness
or
of
the
the
size
stem.
of the.
You start stroking the stem and say the stiffness of the stem.
Please say that. Please, you can't edit this out now. Yeah, that's exactly what you say.
There's no tricks. Yeah, there's no trick. You just gotta
just bumble through
you
it.
chat GBT as many adjectives.
Are you
as
saying
can.
this back to your wife? Is that what you mean? Like when she brings
just
He
in
wants his
general.
wife to feel that he is into what she is showing him. So it's like, how does he react? It's almost like an acting class where he goes, "Oh my
Yes.
goodness,
That's above my pay grade. I'm afraid.
Look at the way that they're
wow, the way you
structured.
organized it."
Yeah, I can see that.
But it has to be believable.
dimension.
I can
Is the
see
problem?
how the yellow complements the.
Dude, that's good.
Yeah.
The compliment thing was
the
nice.
compliment is a good thing. Like
Keep that standard.
peaches and blues,
compliments.
like
No matter what.
opposite.
No
That's
matter
opposite of the color wheel. I don't know.
I can see how the pink complements this green logo.
You say it brings out the color of
Yeah.
your eyes.
Oh, that's good.
The beautiful contrast.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good.
All right. Well, this has been fun. Thank
Good-
you so much.
Good luck, Randy.
All right. So how do people find you? How do they reach out to you?
Instagram is probably the easiest way to start. Fern Studio Flowers is where you'll find us on Instagram. We are also online, fern-studio.com. It's our website. I gave you the old website. Can you?
Just nobody will remember
Why
that.
don't you help?
What's
No
the
one
real
worries.
one?
Just like when I screwed up your name at the beginning.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Flower
Okay, well
Studio.
it's not. I didn't even actually just change it, but we changed. My email is still on the old website, so the real website is fernstudioflowers.com, which is the same as the Instagram, so it's easier.
Perfect. We're here for the health of it.
For the health of